took his licks, do you know what I mean? You can't question a guy's heart whenever he's taking 9 rounds of punishment from one of the best pound-for-pound fighters. So.
Boxing fans here in Manchester with Shane Mcguigan. Shane, your charge, Adam Azim, is finally out. It's been a little while. You know, I had a few injuries, but we're there. How is he? How's the hand? How's everything else?
Yeah, it's really good. He's had a great training camp. He's in a good space. Hand's absolutely fine. It was an infection. It was no ligament or fracture issues. So everyone's asking those same questions, which obviously, of course, but it was just a very unfortunate. Not accident, because his hand was swollen, but then he got it cupped, and you know that caused an infection. So disappointing in that, but then again we didn't lose the training camp. We still gained another bit of experience with the training camp. So we're looking at the positives. He's just turned 21. He's got all the time in the world.
What do you do with someone like him? Do you have to change like certain hand gloves, or is it something that you have to change to make sure that he doesn't? So it's not recurring.
No, I mean, like most people get injured in sparring most of the time, because it's like head guards and elbows, and you know, you're doing 10 to 12 rounds in a title fight once, but you're doing 100 rounds in sparring, so you just have a 10%, so you know, 10 times greater chance of getting injured, you know what I mean, in training. So that's where most of the injuries occur, but nothing's changed in the taping or gloves or nothing. No.
Is the path the same? Is it going to be any quicker for him to get to where you want him to get to, or do you just let him do his thing? He is 21 years old, but has that changed in your eyes with this later layoff that he's had? Yeah,
we have a path, and we have a place, a position that we want to be in, and guide him towards it. But we're not on the clock. You know, we really aren't. We're on. We'll see how he develops and how he goes. You know, with the dates that we're presented, we'll take it fight by fight. But you know, we know which route we want to go. Obviously, but these things change all the time, so you can't have a plan in boxing. You've got to be malleable and adapt to whatever route is chosen almost for you.
As a trainer, do you have to pull the reins in a little bit? We know that boxer Sky Sports might be pushing him to get these big fights straight away. Like, he's a big name, a lot of people, a lot of eyes on him. As a trainer, you're pulling the reins a little bit to say, listen, slow down slightly. We want my fighter to make sure he's fully developed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's an element of that, but also an element of me saying I really want him to get going to European level and you know, definitely championship level, and work his way up the rankings. I think there's a big shift in the 140-pound division coming, and I think he's the next guy to rule the division.
Interesting, we just got Bomac on your left, somebody who's done wonders with Crawford. What do you make of, I do want to move over to the main event, what do you make of Chris Eubank Jr.'s link up with Bomac 4.5 weeks before the fight?
I think I said it in an interview, it's like a novelty. It's like going to the library and buying a book and not reading it. You don't have time to read it. You know, you have to spend time working on these things. And that relationship, look, I've been with Adam for 2.5 years, and it's clicking now. You know, yes, when they're more established fighters, like he's learning on the job, whereas Eubank's already done a lot of his apprenticeship. But you still have to take time to learn and work out what's right for each other and how you work together, how you gel. I don't think he's going to be a big factor in the fight.
How do you see the main event playing out? Do you see Liam Smith doing the same as before, or do you feel like Chris is going to be able to adjust slightly to beat Liam on the night?
I think it'll be more competitive early. I think Chris will keep a bit more distance, but I think at some stage Liam will pin him, and I think he might start to overwhelm him. I see a late stoppage, on mid to late round stoppage for Liam Smith. I said it once again in another interview. I think like it favours the guy that's coming up. You know, we got one guy that's 35, but he's coming up from 154, and he's comfortable at 160. It's never easy, I'm sure, for Liam Smith to make that 160-pound limit, but he's a lot more comfortable than the guy that's been at 168 for all those years and boiling himself back down to 160. So, you know, age is a telling factor in fights, especially when they're really tight on the weight.
Final few from myself. Do you want to talk about Daniel Dubois versus Oleksandr Usyk? Dubois is someone that you've obviously trained in the past. Talk to me about this. A lot of people are saying, look, when he was down, he could have got up earlier if he wanted to. If he wanted that fight, he could have got up earlier. Other people are saying words as he quit. What do you make of that? Do you feel like Daniel, when the tough gets tough, that he did?
So what are you asking me? If Usyk was down? Or
No. When Daniel was down, that he could have bobbed earlier for him to maybe carry on the fight, but he didn't want to. Do you feel like at that point Daniel didn't want that fight anymore?
He was looking at his corner, and it looked like, yeah, he could have got out, but he lost every round. Do you know what I mean? So, lost every round. He took quite a bit of punishment. It wasn't like he just got hit with one shot and rolled over. Took his licks. Do you know what I mean? You can't question a guy's heart whenever he's taking 9 rounds of punishment from one of the best pound-for-pound fighters. So, I won't be sitting here and saying that. I just think he was out of his depths a little bit, skill-wise.
In regards to Oleksandr Usyk, a lot of people are saying that performance wasn't great. People saying that maybe he's on the decline. What do you make of that? What do you make of that noise?
I don't think. I thought it was a great performance from him. I thought it was brilliant. He applied the front foot pressure. He backed the bigger man up. He kept him occupied all night. Daniels can punch like hell. And I know Usyk said he can't, but he really can. He can such heavy hands. I've seen him knocking so many people out in the gym. Like he's got freakish power. So he kept him offset, and that was what won the fight so wide and convincingly. Yeah, he kept feinting him back, and Daniel likes it when you're going back, but when he's pushed back and he's having to reset his feet, because he's a big lad, likes to set his shots up. Yeah, he just completely took him out of the fight with those feints and those movement, and the whole point is he was pressing him back, which I thought was brave, very brave. And risks that he probably didn't need to take, but he took it, and it paid late on in the fight because Daniel was exhausted. So I thought it was a good performance.
Final one before I let you go. A lot of talk about Anthony Joshua and his relationship with Derrick James right now. He's had 2 fights with him. Do you feel like we're seeing a new age in regards to the style, or do you still feel like there's a lack of confidence when he gets in range to let them hands go?
Yeah, I think so. I think that last knockout's probably going to do a lot of confidence, give him a lot of confidence. He hasn't knocked a guy out for quite a long time. I can't even think. Would it have been Pulev before that? Probably was. Yeah. So that's a long time. You're knocking guys out in the gym's not the same as knocking someone out with the small gloves on and having that confidence to really let your hands go. So yeah, I hope for his own sake that he builds confidence off that. So yeah, he's going to need it going into these bigger fights if he's going to fight the likes of Wilder definitely, or Fury. Those 2 fights you're going to need a lot of confidence in your own ability and punch power. Because if you sit back with Wilder, you're in a firing line for some big shots.
Well, Jim Mcguigan, always a pleasure to talk to yourself. 2 minutes over the time that we allocated. Thank you so much. Cheers, mate.